How do you expect anything good to come out from a place you don't like? So when my mindset changed, that's when things started getting better. I was consciously and purposely looking for good things.
Hello, welcome to the Black Lives in Philippines. On this series, we're going to be exploring the different Black experience and who they are and how they live their lives in the Philippines.
My name is Frank Barry. I'm from Cameroon. I'm from the city of Douala in Cameroon. I'm a professional athlete, football player to be exact. And but for the past few years, I've been working here in the Philippines in the BPO industry. So yeah, that's about me pretty much.
Okay, so what drew you to the
What drew me to the Philippines? I came here for complete and absolutely sport reason. I don't know if I should say I got a chance to come here, but anyway, while playing Cameroon, I was playing in second division for a local team back home, and then being a football player back home, we all aspire to go play abroad, for a lot of different reasons. And someone came up to me, the person that later became my manager came up to me and then offered me the opportunity to come to the Philippines, to which I quickly say yes. Then that's why I got here.
So being in the Philippines, their national sport is basketball.
That's right.
They play football, but they're so much more interested in basketball. So how are you able to cope with that kind of environment?
Definitely it's not the easiest environment for for a football player, being a country where football is not the number one sport. When I came here, they had a competition. I think it was UFL, because now it's called PFL, the Philippine Football League. I think for the past 2 or 3 years they changed the name to PFL. I played when it was still the UFL, if I'm not mistaken on the name. I played with the team here we call Stallion. Then later on I also play they call it WFL, with the team we call Manor. I think for 2 years I played with them. And then to come back on what you were saying earlier, like this place not being a football country is really hard for a football player to kind of make a living, that playing football. So I quickly realized it. That's why I quickly, though I was still playing and now still trying to play, I kind of quickly also understood that I need to find something else, to do. Like that's how I got into the BPO.
So did you try other Did you try other Asian countries that football is a sport, for example, like China or Japan or Korea, where football is like part of their sport? Did you try traveling to other Asian countries or other European countries too?
Oh yeah, I've been to Thailand, for example. Before actually coming here, I've been to Thailand, but things didn't really turn out the way I was expecting there. So that's how from there I came here actually. And then to China, no, I never been to China. I also got the opportunity to go to Vietnam, but for some reason back then, some personal reason, I couldn't move there for good. So I haven't quite been around neither in Europe to really play football. So far the place I've stayed the longest here in Asia is in the Philippines.
So did you try playing in basketball apart from football? Why saying it?
I play basketball though. I do a lot of sports. Actually, I play basketball. I do boxing. I do a lot of sport. I love natation. Like I don't know how we call it in French, natation. That's swimming. But it has always been a hobby. Nothing too serious. Like I play basketball. I went to now like a couple of weeks. I play here in Grace Residence. It's not far from here. So, but just for fun. But the sport I consider as a profession has always been football.
So during your football days, like, was it difficult for you to find a club? Because you said you played for Stallion FC, right? And Stallion FC, I know right now, some of my friends that want to be a footballer, they say it's very difficult to enter the club. So was it difficult for you to find a club to play for?
Here in the Philippines, wow, that's a tough question actually. I feel like it's something there's so much to say about it. I don't think it's neither easy or difficult to find a team here. I believe like anywhere else, when you're good, you're good. You understand? Like when you have the skills, to meet the team expectation, there are a lot of chances that you're gonna get picked, to play for the team. But probably the difficulty here in the Philippines, I don't think is to find a team. The difficulty is to leave from what you're making. Playing for football teams here. That's the biggest issue. And personally, that has been my issue, and I think that has been the issue of a lot of people, football players here. Football here not being the number one sport, there's not so much people or so much sponsors, putting money in. So naturally, football players are not really well taken care of, if that makes sense, or if you get what I mean, So, to talk about myself personally, like I say, I quickly realized that I would not make a living, or I would never make enough, to sustain to all my needs and the needs of my family by playing football here. And I believe a lot of other African, a lot of people are in that situation. Of course, don't get me wrong. Probably there are gonna be one or two teams here. Like Kaya or maybe like Ceres, I think we call them United FC right now. That kind of treat or pay player, I would say pretty much good, but they are pretty much just those two teams. Any other teams, is really hard, for anybody.
So were you the only foreigner playing during your football days? And if you were, do you feel that there was a lot of pressure on you?
Please say it again.
Like, were you the only foreigner playing during the time when you played, like, for a particular club?
Mm-hmm.
And if you were, did you feel that there was a certain pressure attached to you? Because most Filipinos feel that, like you said, you're an athletic.
Mm-hmm.
So that aside, most Filipinos, they have this belief that blacks are basically built to be athletic. So did you feel that there was a pressure from your coach or from your fellow team attached to you when you were playing during that time?
Most of the team I play here, I've never been the only foreigners. Luckily, probably. Like for example, when I was playing with Stallion, I had actually a good mate from Cameroon that was already playing there. And then he quite make things easy for me when it comes to integration. So it's a different energy when you training and playing with someone that you already know, things are more loose. At least you have someone you can talk to, someone that gonna brief you about how things work here, the expectation, the code, everybody behavior, things like that. So I never really had an issue when it comes to integration in the team. Even with Mano, that was already African actually playing for Mano, not Cameroonian. Never one Cameroonian, but there was also some Nigerian. So, but it's all Africa. So, yeah, I never had a difficulty. But now, when it comes down to pressure, I've always dealt with pressure differently. I believe pressure, like a lot of other things, are what you make them to be. I always try to turn it into something positive. I definitely believe to accomplish whatever you want to do, you need pressure. Definitely, it's the pressure that keeps you awake. It's the pressure that tests that pushes you to do more. Like the pressure of doing good, the pressure of performing. Knowing someone might take your place and stuff like that. Those are the things that keeps you going. When you let it be positive, or when you transform it to be something positive, and that's kind of pretty much what I've always tried to do, in any aspect of my life. But now, when you let it become something negative, it's something that will destroy you. So talking about pressure, I think, I've always used pressure and I always try to turn it on my advantage, if that makes sense.
All right, that's nice. So the other side, you had people to help you during your football days. So aside from the football, when it comes to your personal life, were you ever lonely in this country, and how were you able to fight the loneliness that comes with staying in a foreign land?
Oh wow, lonely? Oh man, I've been lonely here big time. I'm the eldest of my family. And then, I've always grew up in that family setting. Ever back home, and we kind of know how is it in Africa. It's like you really have those ties, with your siblings, with your parents and stuff like that. And then me coming here and being, live, and that was my first time abroad pretty much, and living that nest, if that makes sense. It was very difficult, especially in the beginning, especially because things didn't at first turn out the way I was expecting. What was sold to me back home, unfortunately, when I got here, it wasn't really that. So I had to literally reset completely and try hustling on my own, if that makes sense. So, to those difficulties and hard times, I think the people you miss the most is that support system of yours, which back home was your family. And naturally, you not having it, is some just. But I always knew that though they're not here with me, I always knew they still have me in their prayers. They still support me. I think my happiest moment in the day was when I was calling my mama, and then and just gonna comfort me. She's gonna pray for me and stuff like that. So yeah, it was hard not to have them here with me. But it was also comforting to know that I'm still in their thought. They still love me. They still pray for me. I could feel, I could see their prayers, happening or things like that. And then I make it a thing that as soon as I can, I'm gonna have one of them coming, which I did. So yeah, having my sister coming here was a great relief.
Okay. So speaking about family, do you plan on raising a family here in the Philippines? And what's your reason, depending on your answer?
Do I plan to raise a family here in the Philippines? Obviously, no. Because I never considered settling in the Philippines. Okay. For a number of reasons. Because I believe what I want to do and what I still have hope to do, I believe I can still play for a number of years, and I know it's not happening here. So that's why I already made up my mind of, moving or going away. In a place where I can be able, to grow professionally. Probably that's gonna be the main reason. Me not probably planning to settle here. The other reason, and like I said, I'm a very family person, so I think I would prefer to raise my family or my kids in a place where it's gonna be more accessible for their grandparents, to see them or something. So ideally, maybe back home in Cameroon, or maybe in my wife's country, So, but definitely not here.
Okay, so staying in the Philippines for some time now, how have you been able to integrate the culture with your lifestyle?
I think it was some easy things for me to do. If we start maybe with the climate, for example, or the weather, back home in Cameroon we have a tropical country, tropical winter. It's a tropical country, and it's pretty much the same here. I think they have the rainy and the dry season. It's pretty much the same. So when it comes to climate or weather, it has been the easy thing. Back home, that's how we dress. There's no wind or something like that. So climate was yes, has been easy. Also, when it comes to the way of living, I feel like we have a lot of similarities, with Filipinos when we come to the way we live, society-wise. They are also very family-oriented people. They love living in a family and staying in a family. It's not an individual society, if that makes sense. So there's a lot of things that I was already used to. Even to the food, there are some food that kind of was easy to get along with for me personally.
Yeah.
Of course, I put nothing above African food. African food is life.
Yeah.
But there are some food here that I was able to easily get along, like adobo, like bulalo, that I love a lot. There's a number of food that I like. And then the good thing is also here, if you're not a big fan of Filipino food, where you can easily, have access to other culture food, Like you can find Chinese food, Korean food, Italian food, like you just need to work around, you're gonna find them. And we are even more lucky now that with more African coming in, now we even have African people, individual or personal people serving African food. So I think in terms of integration overall, it has never been difficult for me. I kind of just, get along with it. Yeah.
Okay, so were you able to pick one thing from their culture, like what's that one thing that you have picked from their culture that you know you always carry along with you, no matter where you go?
One thing I picked from the culture. It's hard to tell. Did I pick something from the culture? But probably things that I've observed that I'm sort of very admirative. I remember a couple of days ago we went to eat in a place here in Ford, and I noticed something. While we're eating there's this person that was passing, was sitting outside like that, and then he could just walk, right?
Yeah.
But he literally they do this thing, they kind of bend and pass next to you. It's something that always captivated me. I find it extremely considerate and respectful. Extremely. I mean, I don't know how to put that. Two things: that behavior and probably the fact that they have something specific on how to call an end as kuya. I feel like I feel like Filipinos seems to be very considerate and respectful people. So, and it's something I'm very appreciative of.
Okay. So, working in a BPO in a BPO environment, how has the workplace? How do you describe it?
Workplace. Now my workplace is at home for almost the past 2 years. Almost.
Yeah,
because
thanks
of
for that.
COVID, you know. But back then when we were still going back to the office, personally the office where I worked was, I don't want to say fun, alright, because I gotta say it was alright, if that makes sense. I'm not sure if you know about how BPO offices are set. So we were 5 foreigners, and we were 5, and then pretty much a spot gonna be given to us, and the rest of the floor they're gonna be locals Filipino.
Yeah.
And we as foreigners or as black people, black African, not being alone, it's kind of easier, you know, for us to move because you got people to talk to, things like that. Others Filipino, they're also open for chat and things like that, but you know, there is always, you naturally get along with your people. And probably I was lucky enough that our lead, bosses are, you know, really nice people, and then you know, they kind of, I would say they make things easier for us. You know, though I prefer you said working from home. Yeah.
So was it difficult for you to get a BPO job? Yeah.
Personally, no. Absolutely. Personally, no. Actually, I had to pick among 4 offers. That's my personal experience. What happened is, like I said, first, before even getting the BPO, right? For the short story, okay?
Yeah.
I mentioned to you earlier, when I left Cameroon, I wasn't speaking a word in English.
Yeah.
I almost got lost at the airport.
Wow.
I almost missed my flight because I couldn't understand what gate means. like for me, like I just proceed to, I think that was gate 13. I'm not quite sure. But proceed to go 13, flight number 10. I could tell that's my flight. I'm like, what the fuck gate means? You know. Like I literally, and I'm always someone who asks when I don't understand, when I don't understand. I literally asked the next person, and it was an old lady. She told me, son, you need to proceed to this gate. You just go straight, just look at it. That's when I realized that gate means like a door, like an entry. Like just to show you how much I didn't even knew a single word in English. But like I say, is as soon as I realized it, I understood. That's first when I realized, Frank, you need to learn English. You know, because I realized that. I brought back home, we speak French in everyday life. When I went home, my dad was a French teacher. So we speak French every day at home, you know. So it's then I quickly realized that you need to learn English. So when I got here, adding on top of it, I realized that football is not really what it is. I'm like, you need to find something else. I tried to kind of make some research about BPO, what is available. Not really BPO, about jobs, what is available out there, and I quickly learned or realized that the only thing available out there for most of us is just to do BPO.
Yeah.
And then in order to make money, to make enough, you have an advantage when you speak another language, which is I speak French. So the only thing missing was English. So that's how I went online on YouTube. And then, I had my notebook somewhere, and then I was spending like 3 or 4 hours every day on YouTube learning English. Like it took me about a couple of months. And I was watching a lot of films. I couldn't understand a word, but I was watching films, in English. I was listening to music. I couldn't understand nothing. But, I was kind of trying to train my subconscious, to kind of already get familiar with the language. So, And then about a couple of months later on, I started sending my resume up. I asked for a friend. I was already working in a call center.
Yeah.
He sent me his resume. I tried to do something different with my experience back home already, and I completed everything. I sent to different companies. I didn't even know who I was sending to. I was just going on tapping or battling my job. I was sending. I sent every day. And to some company, I think I was begging them to. My guy would send to the same company maybe 4 or 5 times. So I was getting called here and there. And then 4 companies, one of them concentrate. I think there was Emphasis. There was this company in, I think, Cobao. I forgot the name. I think it's Accenture. Anyway, I got an offer. I passed the interview in 4 companies, and all the 4 made an offer to me. All the 4, and then I just had to pick, and I started barging with them. So I was like, okay, this one is giving me this one. I'm like, okay, I got something here right now. Like I reached out to the Emphasis. I'm like, I got something here right now to the HR for Emphasis back then. And this company's giving me this. I really like your company. I really like to work here. If you could just,
Yeah.
And then that's all. But anyway, I already kind of made up my mind with the company I wanted to work with. That was Concentrix, because the interviewer back then was amazing. I was impressed. I really, so I kind of already made up my mind. So that's why I ended up working for Concentrix. But was it hard for me to get a job there? Personally, no, not at all.
Okay. So, what was your unexpected experience while living in the Philippines?
Unexpected experience?
Yes.
I cannot really have any unexpected experience if we go from the point that I didn't knew about the country I was coming to, or I never really searched about it, and that's the truth. I blindly trusted someone who took me here, and I never really took into consideration to search where I was going. But if I'm gonna say something unexpected, would be I thought football would be more popular here. I thought by coming here I'll be making a living in football. I thought by coming here I'll be able to play. I thought football was a big thing. So was it something completely unexpected? Yes, definitely. So probably that,
How were you able to grow from that experience?
How were you able to grow from that experience? I don't think I learned anything out of it, if you want to talk about growth. But the point is, I'm someone who, how can I make it? Like, in Islam, we say I'm a hustler, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So when I don't find my means, when I don't find what I'm looking for in a thing, I quickly look elsewhere. I kind of work like that. So it means I have something in mind. I want a thing. Okay, I cannot find it here. And where can I find it? So me coming here not able to make what I wanted in football, and what I always want is to take care of my family, be able to provide for the needs, all of that. And I realized football won't help me to do that. So I'm like, okay, what else here gonna help me to get it done?
Yeah.
That's how I reason. That's how I see things. I'm like, okay, no football. Okay, what is available? That's how I started working. If that makes sense. So yeah, I'm not sure if I answered your question.
Yeah. So wait, you didn't know how to speak English before coming here?
No.
So how were you able to communicate with your teammates?
Like I say, I got to stand and there was a Cameroonian guy there.
So he was the one helping.
There was a Cameroonian guy there, so I was talking to him. He was talking to the rest. But though you may not be able to speak the language yet, being submerged within people that speak it every day, there are other things you can perceive. Like if you start speaking your dialect right now, maybe Igbo, I'm not sure, I'm gonna be able to tell what you're talking about without precisely saying what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because other thing gonna make me guess, it could be your intonation, the expression of your face, your gesture, things like that. So, and then for a non-speaking English person, coach and players knowing that I don't really yet speak at that time, they gotta accompany what you're saying. They don't try to use simple words, at least that I've heard already before.
Yeah.
And they're gonna try to accompany, so things like that. It's like you getting in a car on the tricycle and the driver doesn't know how to speak English, and you go like, Kuya, can you please drop me at this location? And
Yeah.
like, what? You'd be like, Kuya, maybe passar.
Yeah.
So he gotta get you right. So yeah.
Okay. So how has your experience in the Philippines been so far?
My experience in the Philippines, I gotta say good, big good, for a lot of reasons. I'm gonna say it frankly and honestly.
Yeah.
When I came here, I didn't like this place, big time. I didn't like this place at all. I don't want to say the word hate because it's a big word, but I didn't like this place for numbers of reasons. I got scammed at the airport.
Sorry.
I got scammed at the airport earlier when I got here. I got with dollars, and then like I say, me not really knowing what abroad is or the currency and stuff like that. I may not go maybe the detail of the history, but they took money from me at the airport. And when I exited the airport and realized it after, I was so angry, because that's pretty much everything I had on me. And then also next seeing things like, okay, things are not really the way they are. Like me, I was expecting to get here, there's this team that gonna come with the bus, with the driver gonna pick me, drum. You know how things work.
Yeah.
And none of this happening. I'm like, hold on, where am I? So all my expectation, none of them happened, and worse, I even got stolen. So at first I really didn't like this place. I wanted to leave, and I have been on that negative vibe for a quite good time. Even my first experience with my team, we started here, it wasn't a good experience. I broke my ankles, and things really, I don't know, for the first, for my first experience here, for my first part of time staying here, things I was really in a negative spiral completely. And probably that's where I grew, and that's where I learned something. There's something that came to my mind. Like I said, I'm someone I always, I always have a meeting with myself a lot of time. I do a lot of self-talk,
Yeah.
Like when it's a situation happened in my life, I always kind of question, what's up, what is my responsibility, or things like that. And then that's something I always do at the end of the day before going to bed. I always talk to myself, what should I improve, what should I do better, where should I feel, how should I move next time, or things like that. And then I not quickly realized, but at some point I'm kind of like, how do you expect anything good to come out from a place you don't like? So when my mindset changed, that's when things started getting better. I was consciously and purposely looking for good things. If I talk to Filipino today, I started realizing how nice they are. I started realizing how friendly they are. I'm trying to say how warm, welcoming they can be. Though I was stolen by another Filipino, but some Filipino also helped me out. A quick story, like my wife lost her iPhone. A Filipino took it and called us to come get it back.
Wow.
You see? He called us to come get it back. And we went to get it, we didn't even give him a penny. So I realized that it's just like anywhere else. There's some good and bad apples.
Yeah.
But it's important, and I think that applies in every part of life. It's important that if you want something good from a thing, you need to see the good in those things. So those good are gonna come at you. That's pretty much what I've learned of that experience. So my experience in the Philippines, like I literally became a man here. I grew as a person. I'm still able to support my family. To take care of myself, things like that. I met my wife here, So overall, I would say it has been a good experience.
So that brings us to our last question. With all your experience right now, would you actually advise anybody to come to this country? Any black person?
African?
Yeah, African.
Yes and no. It depends, I would say. You know, I don't know if it's the same thing in Nigeria, but we have this thing in Cameroon we call adventure.
Yeah.
So it means you're just going abroad.
Oh, yes.
And whatever happen. It's like you go in there and you see what's up. Nah, I think Philippines is not the place for that. I don't know, maybe other places can. Maybe first world country, maybe it's a thing that could work. But I'm convinced that Philippines is not the place where you come and find out what's up. I think Philippines is a place where when you come, you need to be prepared. You need to know where you're going. You need to know what you can do. You need to know what is available right there. I give an example. A lot of Africans here are struggling. All right, a lot. You know, some have been here for years and they're still having a tough time. And for most of them, the only reason is simply because they never got that person and they never knew where they were going, or got that person that could tell them, you know, this is what you're gonna do. This is how things work here.
Yeah.
You need to move like this. All right. Personally, I've been there. I didn't have it, and probably that's why I struggled at first. You know, really struggled at first. So I definitely believe that for someone wanting to come here, he needs to know where he's going. He needs to know what is available. If you come here for football, I'll be like, you know, think about it. Okay, if you have another elsewhere to go, please go elsewhere. You know, if you come here, unless a team is inviting you, not by third person, but unless a team inviting you, don't. Unless you talk directly with the team, unless they send you a contract, they send you official paper, things like that, to have you, that they want to see you. If by third person come having you to come here and see, don't. No. If you come here, if you're not an athlete and you want to come here to work, you need to find out what is available. For most of us, what is available only is to work in the BPO for most of us. And take advantage of the fact that me and Cameroonian are speaking another language, but you know, speak another language other than English, like speaking French. So overall, I think it's important for any person to come here. It's not a place to come for adventure. It's not a place where you come and find out what's up. It's a place where you need to come prepared and need to know how you move, or things like that. A shout out, probably just gonna be just a hi, probably to my family. I always do. And then sending my regard to my family, and then sending my regard to all the African living in the Philippines. You know, it's the beginning of the year. You know, 2022 has just started. I really pray that we all get what we want. You know, we all get what we're looking for. I deeply, you know, it's really one of my deepest wish for any single African here to make it. You know, at least the minimum. You know, so yeah. So wishing everyone a happy New Year. You know, happy New Year to you, and then let's hope for a great 2022.
So that brings us to the end of the interview. So to our subscribers, thanks for coming back once again to watch our interviews, and to the new watchers, to the new people here, please remember to subscribe and click the bell button. And that's it. See you guys next interview. Thanks and bye.